merge la Skocjan Caves, niște peșteri incluse pe lista Patrimoniului Mondial UNESCO. Deci că sunt unele dintre cele mai frumoase din Slovenia. Nu le-am văzut niciodată față de postuina pe care o mai văzusem acum vreo 15 ani. Așa că suntem și noi destul de curioși să vedem cum arată. O să vă arătăm ceva mai târziu.
How do you think that this cave was formed? If you imagine this cave, it's 3 million years old, and at the beginning the river was flowing here. This is all the river bed, yeah. But then the river changed its direction and left this part dry. Now this part is wet only because of the drops that are falling down. You can hear them. And these drops are forming stalagmites and stalactites. But up here, you see there is almost no stalactites, and the ones that are very small. This is because here it was an earthquake 12,000 years ago. Still now you can see the part of the ceiling, the part of the roof that collapsed down when there was this earthquake. Yeah? This means that all these stalactites are actually very, very, very young. They are only 12,000 years old. This is because here everything grows very, very slowly. For 1 centimeter it takes more than 100 years. Yeah? And in this process, stalagmites grow stalactites, and when they join together, it becomes a column. Then we will have some curtains here or spaghetti, and we have some weird stuff here in the cave. You can use your imagination, it's weird. Exactly, yeah. That's what I wanted to explain. Here you see this pool. It's not made for spa or wellness. It was made by the first explorers 120 years ago. Yeah. 120 years ago, the explorers didn't have the artificial tunnel, so they could go in and out from the cave. So when they decided to go inside the cave, they were here for 3-4 days non-stop. Yeah. They took a lot of bread, a lot of salami, and this was for drinking, yeah, the water. But if you would start to drink this water now, I think you would have some problems in the toilet. Yeah. Imagine they're waiting for 120 years ago. 20 years. And the first explorers, they didn't care too much of the environment. They were cutting stalagmites and stalactites and selling them as a souvenirs. You know, the environment was not so important as the extra money. Yeah, now there you can see the tower in Pisa. Yeah. Although this is much smaller and much older, something like 10,000 years older. can see the biggest stalagmite in the cave. It's called the Joy. It has around 15 meters, and on the top, there's still 3 meters missing. Yeah. So if you will come in the next 30,000 years, here you will see a very nice column. Exactly. If you come, then we take it for you. I mean, God bless humanity. But yeah, so here everything grows very slowly. We are in a region that is called Kars, that has a lot of limestone. And this limestone is slowly dissolving water. In 1 million years, the water on the surface melts 50 meters of the surface. Every 1 million years, the surface goes for 50 meters down. Wow. So in every drop of water, there is a little of this limestone. One drop of water doesn't do any difference. But millions and millions of drops in thousands and thousands of years, they do a huge difference, as you can see here. So if you see on the top of the stalagmite that it's white, like here, it means that from up here the drops are still falling down, and that this stalagmite is still growing, still active. Yeah? There is other colors, not just white, there is red, a lot of iron, or here mangan, the black, but most of the cave is brown. This is all the mud, the clay that was brought inside by the river. Yeah? And just for orientation, now we are 90 meters below the surface. Yeah? Here above us, there is the parking. Here are your cars. So let's hope that the roof will hold them. Fell down like this one from up here, yeah. Or there is another example. This one was straight up, then this part fell. Yeah. So from time to time here in the cave, there's an earthquake. But if you imagine that this cave is something like 3 million years old, there is actually not a lot of broken stalagmites and stalactites. Yeah. So in general, the cave is very safe against the earthquakes. Yeah? I mean, I cannot promise you anything for 100%, but in general, you're super safe. Hopefully that comes here. You can see a strange form of the curtains. It's called the organ, like an instrument in the church that you can play. This organ too. If I now start smashing on it, hit it with my light, it will produce sounds, like a true instrument, yeah, because inside is empty, it's cold, yeah, but it's very fragile. The old guys, still 50, 60 years ago, they were hitting it with small hammers, doing some mini concerts for the tourists. But you see, it's very fragile, so some parts just broke. So sadly there will be no concerts today. And the second reason that you cannot touch stalagmites and stalactites is that your hands produce fat. Your hands are, fat is like oil. It doesn't mix with water. Yeah? So if you touch them, you cover them with your fat, you make like a protection against the water, and the water doesn't deposit limestone anymore. They will become black, it means that they stopped growing. They will not grow for 100 years. Yeah. But anyway, this is just a rock, you don't need to do any experiment, so don't be grabbing, touching. But here were some animals. Yeah, the bats
bats.
were here, yeah.
And
Here it was a colony of 1,000 bats, and this is their excrements. Yeah, this is their shit. Yeah. It's called guano. Supposedly it's very good fertilizer. Yeah. But you know, after they built the touristic way, this one that we are walking, you know, the bats didn't like the light and the noise. They moved to the end of the cave. Now, at the end of the cave, all together, there is something like 10,000 bats. This means that we finished with the first part, with the silent cave, and we are going to the second part, to the noisy cave. The cave is not noisy because of my colleague that are screaming, but because of the river. So there is a river that in Slovene it's called reka. Maybe somebody knows what does it mean, reka in Slovene? No? It means river. Yeah. So like if I would have in English river. Yeah. This is because here in this region they had only one river, and to this river they gave name river. Yeah. Very simple. Yeah. They used really a lot of imagination. And this river created a huge underground canyon. It's the biggest underground canyon in Europe and one of the biggest in the world. And this underground canyon, the collapsed valleys outside that once were the caves, but then the ceiling, the roof collapsed. And the fact that here they started the science of the cave, like speleology, are the three main reasons why the Skocjan caves were written into UNESCO Heritage List. Yeah? So now let's see this river. You can read, it's called the river, it's written the river, 2nd September 1965. What do you think? What happened that day? Somebody knows?
92.
Exactly, yeah, very good. Amazing. Here, the level of the water was still here. All the canyon was underwater, so here was the flood.
Wow.
Yeah, this happens not very often. This happens when outside there is 2-3 days of non-stop rain. Non-stop. And the river outside rises and takes a lot of trees, a lot of wood, and all this amount of water and wood goes in the siphon at the end of the canyon, and the siphon gets blocked. It's like in your toilet. Your toilet gets blocked, you have the same problem like here. Yeah? Here maybe a little bigger, because in 2 days the river rised for 90 meters. It was rising even 1 stair per 10 minutes. And when there is a flood here in the cave, here it's absolute silence. All this huge amount of water, it's moving just down, 90 meters up, there is absolutely no movement. You can actually hear the drops of water. There is a tree. Like this is all the memories from 3 years ago. Yeah, the debris, that what was brought by the river. One tree was pushed even up there. See there, it's a tree that got stuck up. Here you see, there is the natural entrance. From there the river comes inside, and from there the first explorers came 107 years ago. But the first explorers didn't have electric lights like me. They had just candles on their heads. I mean, imagine how much they could see. Yeah. So one of the first entrances in the cave was actually up there. You go down here. Yeah, although it was a bit dangerous, at least for for my standards, I don't know for you. I mean, God bless them. But imagine the first explorers. I was telling to you that the first explorers wanted to see everything. Yeah, literally every possible hole. And they were doing roads like this. You need to go up here. And there is a viewpoint. It's a very nice viewpoint to see the cave, but I don't think it's worth risking my life to go up there. They were really a bit too brave, yeah? At least for my standards.
Dar ce am vizitat pe Pestera Skocjan?
E o peșteră foarte interesantă din punct de vedere al apariției ei și a modului în care s-a dezvoltat.
Da, este înscrisă și în Patrimoniul UNESCO din 1996. Comparând cu Postoina, este mai săracă în formațiuni calcaroase, nu este la fel de bogat decorată. Aici, personajul principal, să spunem așa, este râul, care a creat un canion subteran foarte mare și încă se poate vedea cum trece prin peșteră, formând diverse cascade și repezișuri.
Chiar și inundații generează periodic. Ghidul zicea că undeva între 15 și 50 de ani este o inundație totală a peșterii și perioada de reparație a daunelor create de inundație durează un minim de 2 săptămâni. Adică curățarea aleilor, reparația gardului de protecție, și refacerea sistemului de iluminat.
Ultima inundație majoră a fost acum 3 ani și peștera a fost închisă
2 săptămâni.
Da. Dar, în general, este un mediu destul de sigur, să spunem.
Da, e un mediu sigur. Aleile sunt umede tot timpul din cauza umidității din peșteră și a scurgerilor, dar se poate vizita foarte ușor și foarte bine.
Foarte ușor,
foarte ușor ca și mers, nu ca și traseu.
Da, sunt destul de multe scări, urcoșuri, coborâșuri, adică trebuie, garantat nu este pentru cineva cu probleme locomotorii, dar în rest, da, poate fi vizitate și chiar e foarte interesant. Prețul este de 18 euro pentru un adult.
Cu bilet achiziționat online.
Da, noi l-am luat online înainte, fiind extra sezon, probabil că n-am fi avut probleme mari să-l luăm de la intrare, dar în sezon garantat este nevoie să-l achiziționați chiar cu mai mult timp înainte. În apropiere de Skocjan este și ferma de cai lipițani, cai albi, în mare parte. Se poate vizita, costă 18 euro intrarea pentru a vedea ferma, iar în anumite zile sunt și spectacole oferite de acești cai pentru 25 de euro. Astăzi, din păcate, nu este un astfel de spectacol, așa că o să sărim peste ea. Dacă ar fi spectacol, probabil că ne-am fi dus.
Posibil. Vedem. Data viitoare. Mai avem nevoie de locații care trebuie vizitate.
Cu siguranță.